Alright, so I haven't been very impressed recently with a lot of knockoff Souls games, so when I heard Lies of P was coming out, I just kind of sat on it because this was a great year in the video game world and there were just too many other things to play. But I recently saw that it was on sale, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try. And oh my god, let me tell you, this game is freaking awesome. I think it's one of the first knockoff Souls games that has truly captured the essence of a From Software game and can really rival it in a lot of different aspects. Even though it's very similar to the FromSoft games too, though, it definitely had its own concepts and style that set it apart from the rest of the Souls series. The combat generally feels great, though I do think there are some enemies whose parry windows are either inconsistent or straight up hit too quickly for you to even block effectively, but even still, this is like a perfect blend between Dark Souls and Sekiro for me. The atmosphere is S tier, and it definitely takes a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne. Also from Bloodborne, it takes kind of earning your life back by damaging enemies after you get hit, which is a fun mechanic that encourages you to be a little bit more aggressive, which I really enjoy because I'm a very much going guns blazing kind of guy. I actually really enjoyed the story, and I constantly wanted to know what was going to happen next, which is a great driver to keep people engaged and sucked into this game. And feeling an emotional attachment to the characters isn't something that I've really done in any of the other From Software games, other than maybe Sekiro, though a large part of that is being a specifically crafted protagonist with a backstory and goals, opposed to a random husk of a human being that's destined to turn to ash. There's an awesome variety of enemies, and the stagger system with heavy attacks and fable arts and life regain is enough to lure you in just enough to make you overreach and end up just getting clapped. If there's one thing I love in a Souls game, it's ones that make you overreach and teach you patience and learn not to be too greedy, even if there's literally one hit left. There are so many instances in which you try to go for that one last hit, and you're like, oh yeah, I can definitely tank this next hit. But no, you can't, because a lot of times you can't get your hit off at all, and you're staggered or something, and then their hit turns into a 2-hit or a 3-hit, and you're dead, or they have an attack that's so powerful that you're basically one-shot anyway. So yeah, don't overreach for that one last HP. Just back up and maybe, I don't know, shoot him or something. My biggest criticism with this game is that the level design felt super basic to me. It felt like kind of Demon Souls-ish, where it's very linear and there aren't really a ton of options to choose as far as where you want to go. That's not really a big deal though, since I would rather their first game perfect the combat opposed to the levels. And if they end up making another game, which they definitely should, then now you have a good basis for your combat system and you can focus heavily into the map and all the level design. But even things like the weapon sharpening, I was surprised to find that I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was going to be a really annoying mechanic, but I found that it actually added a fun aspect to boss fights, where you have to find the perfect time to repair your weapon, or you could even hold a second weapon and switch between the two. The bosses were all unique, and some fights I loved, and some I found to be complete bullshit, which in my opinion is the only true way to do a Souls game. I was also really surprised at how good the music in this game is. I mean, they even have a record system where you can play tracks and kind of listen to them when you're in the little hub area, which I found really nice, and a lot of the songs I thought were actually shockingly good. For the next game, I'd also really like some sort of bloodstain system where you can write messages to other players, and maybe even a full-out multiplayer summoning system. Yeah, this was supposed to be a short, but it turns out I actually had a lot to say about this game because I liked it so much, and overall, I am just kind of kicking myself for not picking it up sooner. Let me know what you thought of this game though. Did you enjoy this as much as I did, or have you even picked it up yet? If you haven't, then I definitely recommend you should at least give it a try if you like the traditional From Software Souls games. But I'm Keegs, and I will catch you all next time for some more video game content.